Hello viewers, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Tarnia Green Show. I'm delighted that you have taken the time to watch. What I am even more excited about is that you continue to spread the word about the show, and the reviews so far have been very encouraging, and I want to thank you so much for that. Today we explore a very interesting topic, youth entrepreneurship. But before we delve into the discussion and bring you all the exciting elements of this show, we take a pause to thank our valuable sponsors. A big thank you to the Fort Young Hotel, Dominica's premier hotel, for providing the venue for the show. I can't thank you enough. Today we are here in the VIP room, and as you can see, they did an exceptional job here with the decor. So thank you again. Much gratitude go out to the Diamond Girls store for providing me with my lovely outfit here today. Don't forget to check out the Diamond Girls store for all your high fashion needs, ladies. We take a break now. When we come back, we get the ball rolling on our topic for today's show. Stay put.
Unlock the secrets of the Nature Isle with the hotel at the heart of Dominica. Whether relaxing or over on business, the Fort Young is perfectly placed for all your needs, providing comfort and elegance in every room. Our Palisades restaurant features Caribbean classics reinvented with fresh produce from our hills and our seas that connects with a view to dine for. The Fort Young is the best place to meet on island, providing the widest selection of meeting options. The island is filled with natural bounties, and adventurers have been drawn to Dominica for centuries. Fort Young Hotel, the key to Dominica.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching the Tarnia Green Show. Today we talk youth entrepreneurship, and joining us to bring some perspective on the entrepreneurship climate in Dominica is Natasha Yeloy Labad of the Junior Achievement Program. She's actually the Executive Director of the Junior Achievement Program, and she's also an independent contractor. Natasha, thank you so much for joining me on the Tarnia Green Show. It's a pleasure to have you. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, and I feel very honored to be here with you.
Okay, it's such a pleasure. Now, we're talking today about the exciting topic, youth entrepreneurship. And I know this is up, your alley. You embrace entrepreneurship. You've been working with the young people for quite a number of years, but now you are involved with the Junior Achievement Program. Shed some light on the program. What is the program about?
The Junior Achievement Program is an initiative that speaks to helping young persons to understand their economic success, to learn about financial literacy, and to try out an entrepreneurial venture while they are in the safety of the school classroom. And we have a number of elements of innovation, excitement that our young people bring to the table. And so the Junior Achievement Program aims to be the partner of choice for any organization, private sector partner, anyone in Dominica serious about making an impact in youth, serious about the economic development of the country. You definitely want to be speaking to the Junior Achievement team.
Okay. Now, before Junior Achievement, we heard a lot about the Dominica Business Youth Trust, Dominica Youth Business Trust. Mm-hmm. Yes, and now we have the Junior Achievement Group. How different is that group? Okay,
so the DYBT program and the Junior Achievement Program are very similar. The differences are in the youth market that we target. So the Junior Achievement Program actually targets young persons who are still at school, from kindergarten all the way up to the college. and the DYBT program would target young persons between 18 and 35. And just to make a distinction, there are two separate and distinct entities. Junior Achievement is a non-profit organization, and we are independently registered, and the Dominica Youth Business Trust is an organization it's a non-governmental organization. However, it is supported by the Youth Development Division. So two distinct agencies, although we do have a partnership, they're two distinct agencies.
Okay, yes. So let's go back to Junior Achievement. Talk to us about the membership. Is it encouraging?
Very encouraging. In the past 3 years, Junior Achievement has worked to impact 1,286 students, and we have been able to launch a number of innovative, enterprising concepts. And one of the challenges that the Junior Achievement programs put out to the students is, you got an idea, try it out. And they have 1 school year to be able to implement an idea, and we've seen a number of innovative concepts come up. We've got skincare, we have coconut oil products, we have manufacturing products. Students in the north did an interesting concept where they looked at the impact of chikungunya and sought to do a solution for that. And we have our young persons basically with a lot of innovative concepts that have come through this program. And so would I say that we've made impact? Would I say that we've been able to do something that's contributed to the culture of entrepreneurship? Yes, definitely.
Yes, give us a walkthrough through the program and how you integrate in the schools.
The Junior Achievement programs actually utilize certain inroads into the curriculum. So for example, social studies is one particular inroad. We have the health and family life education sessions with the guidance and counselors, and then we utilize the business departments and heads of departments to help with the company program. So at a primary school, for example, the social studies teachers would come together to assist Junior Achievement with the implementation of the Our Nation program. And these programs, it's 5 sessions, and the Junior Achievement team, along with volunteers from the private sector, would go in and support the students with materials, contributions of materials, and exciting activities that get the students to think about what are the skills that I need to have. STEM skills, engineering skills, mathematical skills. Why do I need to develop these skills, and how do businesses utilize these skills? What are my values? How does that connect with, for example, if I'm really talkative while I'm at high school, and we're not going to talk about our days at Wesley High School, but how does that translate to my possible support, sort of like my career opportunities, maybe in media? So I remember my days, I remember those lawyer of the village, mediator of them all, and who knew that that was a skill set that I needed to manage and hone in to be able to, you know, have that contribute to my life. So these are some of the things that we try to work with our students to be able to understand, and then show them how that benefits Dominica and impacts Dominica, either through enterprising skills that they develop or entrepreneurial ventures that they can invest in as they leave and transition from the world of academics to the world of work.
Wonderful. Now you mentioned the private sector getting on board and assisting with that program. What sort of resources are necessary to enable these programs to come through?
Definitely time resource. A lot of persons, sometimes in the private sector, we know that there are challenges. We are on the back of economic downturn in the Caribbean, in the region. We know, those of us who have been reading, those of us who've been researching, know of the figures that have been projected. In many countries, it's minus growth percentages. So we understand that these things, from the point of view definitely of someone who is leaving school, you are going to be going to the private sector with expectation. The private sector also will be looking to you for expectation. And so one of the things that the private sector brings is training, skill sets, transferring and communicating to the students. We need you to be innovative. We need you to be motivated. We need you to come with potential, with possibilities. So the private sector brings that real world orientation. The private sector brings the time value. Tanya, there's nothing more impactful than you coming into my classroom to motivate a group of young girls than you actually coming to the classroom. as opposed to seeing you and looking at you. Seeing you in person makes a big difference, impacts students. And I think what it is that they realize, hold on a second, she's really pretty actually, and she's really smart. And I think I'm really pretty, and I think I'm really smart, and I think I can do that. So it opens up possibilities. And then there's the time value of money. I probably couldn't pay you as a consultant to come in and speak to a class on media and what you need. However, you might be willing to contribute that time. Definitely. And that time has a value for me, it has a value for the students you're impacting. And of course, we can't forget the dollars. So the private sector also bring the financial investment. And I will let you know that the USAID American people have contributed to the Junior Achievement Program for the past 3 years. Okay. They have committed $3 million to 5 countries. And we're at the end of that. And our private sector partners now are helping Junior Achievement to transition into how are we going to be able to support this well into the future. So it's very exciting how, you know, the value that the private sector, you know, bring, not just the financial, but the diversity of it all.
I'm hearing the input from the private sector. I'm hearing input from donor agencies. I'm hearing input from the schools. What is government's input?
Very interesting question. It's something that we're really excited about, the possibilities of even going a lot deeper. And for the Junior Achievement Program, it means that this is a potential opportunity to diversify our portfolio, because we are an ask organization. We invest, we ask, and we invest. And we have a memorandum of understanding, MOU, yes, with the Ministry of Education. And we also have an MOU with the Youth Development Division, and we are right at the point of negotiating a strategic alliance with the youth, the National Youth Council. We are in talks with some other governmental agencies, but I don't want to jump the gun, and you know, we always have to do the launch, and so, and we are, you know, we are a non-profit organization, and when we speak about governmental organizations and the work that we've been doing, we're looking at all sectors and all peoples and all parties, and that's because a national focus like economic education goes beyond politics. It goes beyond, you know, it goes beyond so many things: religion, culture, creed. We all have children. We all want our children to succeed. We all want our children to excel. And most importantly, we all want our children to achieve. So we've been really excited about the, you know, discussions we've been having with a number of governmental agencies. And I think it holds promise.
Great, great, great. Very reassuring. Now, the enabling environment has been presented. How optimistic, how interested are these young people?
Oh my gosh, they are like really, really, really. I mean, we have students making songs, we have students doing videos, video recordings, we have students, you know, going out and traveling, going to countries like Ecuador and Mexico. And I mean, when I actually went to high school, I did actually have opportunities to travel, but it was all regional travel. Yes. And no one took me first class, and no one took me to a 5-star hotel. Okay. And I don't know how that would have impacted my life, but what I do see with the Junior Achievement Program, and what I do, my experiences speak to, it makes sense to invest. I think we want our students to be humble, we want our students to excel, and we want them to push and aim higher. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to take them out and expose them to, you know, the global environment, because the world is truly global. I mean, you know, you WhatsApp, you Twitter, you Facebook, you know, there's so many things that connect people, and showing how quality of life in Mexico and Ecuador is different from quality of life in Dominica, and motivation levels are different, inspire students. And so it's very encouraging to see like a preschool child come up with an idea of ballet shoes. I mean, I saw this little girl.
Yes.
My daughter was at ballet lessons, and this little girl came, you know, to get a drink outside. And when you have your little ballet shoes, ideally you shouldn't walk on dirt or gravel, and she popped on these sticky shoes that she had while she had on her ballet shoes, and all the other girls had to take their shoes off and on when they were going in and out. No, she just popped it off And I was like, wow, like that's $1 million idea.
I know,
and that's
right?
what entrepreneurship does.
Yes.
It keeps you attuned to all of the innovation and creativity around in the community. And I think we need more of that, and we need more of the opportunities to infuse that into our children.
Earlier on in the discussion, you mentioned some success stories within the schools. Would you care to expound on the one from Portsmouth?
The Portsmouth Secondary School has an entrepreneurship club, and in schools like that, there is an environment of creativity and innovation, and that is why the JA program is required in schools like that, because it provides the input, the resources, the kits, come with, marketing plans, shares, and, that they can sell. It comes with everything that's required to start and run and organize a business. And the students at PSS, they have definitely done JA Prod. For 2 years in a row, they took junior achievement to, the Latin American, meet where all of the companies met and, underwent this company program challenge. And, some people say winning is everything, and I think with children, winning isn't everything all of the time. And what I mean by that, and just to clarify what I mean by that is, when a child comes to you and say, miss, I really didn't realize that the importance of networking and taking care of my network, because now I understand why you would keep saying that. And I mean, we went to the same alma mater. I mean, how would you feel if I had bullied you? Well, or how would you feel if you had bullied me? And then you had to call and say, can I invite you? I'm like, no, I'm not coming to any show. So we need to learn to take care of our network, even while we're children. And that's why I'm really excited when I speak about schools like PSS. I mean, there are hundreds of examples of children right here in Dominica with that sort of talent, and they had their Nature's Essentials product. Yes. They had a range of repellents, which had a natural, base in there. So they took out some of the harmful chemicals that we were actually able to travel with these products. Yeah. And they have a product that I use practically every month. Right. I'll not say why, but it's a warm massage cloth that you can use. You can pop it in the microwave and for 2 minutes, and you have that. It'll stay hot for about 10 to 15 minutes, and utilize it as a body massage, or just to keep, if you need, maybe have a back pain, you can utilize it, or cramp or anything that have you uncomfortable. It's a product that you can use, and every time I use that product, it reminds me of the investments that I have made in the life of a child who came up with an idea, did research, and now have a product, physical, tangible product of what's possible when you dream, when you're inspired. So,
oh, that's lovely. That's amazing. So there in thinking ahead, there is hope for young people as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, because we are providing the resources for them, we're providing the training programs, we're providing the enabling environment for them to succeed.
I definitely believe so. I mean, like I said, Junior Achievement as a project, when we saw the impact, we saw the output, we felt that we couldn't, how would we be speaking, what would we be saying to the aid world if we said that hundreds and thousands of US dollars had been invested in Dominica with the potential to do so many things, and it went away, So on that basis, the executive board has decided that the JA program is here to stay, and we're going to be doing everything possible to nurture and to, sort of enable our students for for another 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 years. So it's watch this space.
Great, I'm excited about that. Executive Director of the Junior Achievement Program and independent contractor, Natasha Giloy Labat. Thank you so much for joining me on the Tarnia Green Show. Okay. When we come back, we talk to a young lady who has a passion for sewing and designing. Stay with me. That's coming up next on the other side of the break.
Unlock the secrets of the Nature Isle with the hotel at the heart of Dominica. Whether relaxing or over on business, the Fort Young is perfectly placed for all your needs, providing comfort and elegance in every room. Our Palisades restaurant features Caribbean classics reinvented with fresh produce from our hills and our seas that connects with a view to dine for. The Fort Young is the best place to meet on island, providing the widest selection of meeting options. The island is filled with natural bounties and adventurers have been drawn to Dominica for centuries. Fort Young Hotel, the key to Dominica.
Welcome back, you're watching the Tarnia Green Show. Quietly but confidently, Kimara Matthew over the past few years has been flexing her fashion skills and establishing herself as a legitimate fashion designer in her own rights. From a very tender age, Kimara knew that she wanted to be a designer and dressmaker and began creating her outfits. Today, she has established her outlet in the heart of Roseau, where her designs are blowing her clients away as she continues to exhibit a high level of passion, drive, and sheer talent, always adding her special touch to the pieces. Joining me now to talk more about her undying love for sewing and designing is the ever-talented Kimara Matthew. Kimara.
Hi, Tarnia.
Thank you for joining me on the Tarnia Green Show.
It's nice to be here. Thank you so much.
You look lovely in that blue piece that you're wearing.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So we're talking fashion, we're talking sewing, we're talking designing.
Yes.
When did you start?
I started a few years ago. The idea was in my head for a while. However, I wasn't too sure exactly what I really wanted to do. But a few years back, I had a rather unpleasant experience on the job, and that was basically my motivation to get out there and follow my dream, so to speak.
Yes, and then your dream was to open an outlet where you could have available designed outfits for the public.
Yes, my dream was basically to start my own business, more or less. I knew it was geared around fashion, however, the sewing came only after. Yeah, for some training and so on, and then I got myself to the point where I am right now.
What is your view on fashion?
My view on fashion. I think fashion is a way that persons can express themselves. I think it gives you life, I think it gives you energy, I think it changes your whole personality, and just, you know, just imagine you coming down to town, you know, flip-flops and jeans, as opposed to you coming down with a nice bodycon dress and your stiletto heels and your, you know, your accessories. You know, you just feel different, you know what I'm saying? So I think that fashion in itself is just a great way of expressing yourself, bringing your personality out there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, when did you realize that you had this extra fashion sense?
I think it was always there, you know, Tarnia. I just didn't know it was. Yeah. But I got serious about it about 2 years ago. I got really serious about it. At that stage, I had a plan and I knew exactly what I wanted to achieve. Yeah. I'm still in the phase where I'm growing. Yeah. However, I am contented with where I am right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wake up in the morning, you go to your store in Roseau, and you entertain clients. Clients come in, they walk in, they tell you what they want.
Yes.
How does that work?
Sometimes clients come in and they tell me, okay, I'm looking for a dress to go to a wedding. And so I would ask a few questions. Is it a morning wedding? Is it an evening wedding? How do you see yourself going to the wedding? Because most of the time we do not know what we want to wear, but we have an idea as to how we want to, you know, the attention that if we want an awe expression or what have you. So from asking a few questions, and I have a general idea as to how I can best assist them. Some persons prefer to take things off the mannequin. Some people prefer have it cut to fit. Most times I would advise the person to have it made for them, solely because most persons, everybody comes shaped differently. They come, some persons are pear, some people are triangle. There are four different shapes.
Body shapes for women.
For women. So we have the pear, we have the hourglass, we have the square, and we have the inverted triangle.
Okay.
So
right. There's no rectangle, right?
Actually, the square and the rectangle are somewhat similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
so where do I fit in the scheme of things?
Oh my God. I think the Caribbean woman falls between hourglass and rectangle, more or less, yeah? Because most of us are somewhat plump. We have the, well, hopefully small waist and, you know, hip and, you know, the rest of it.
Right. Yes.
So what I would do more or less, if you are willing to allow me to dress you, so to speak, I would design something that I think would be flattering for you. Yeah, so if you're busty, I might suggest an empire waistline dress. If you are not so busty, but you have, you know, the hourglass figure, I may advise something a little more clinging to the body to accentuate your features and so on and so forth.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you personalize the outfits. That's what I'm getting from you. Is that, you know, I have an idea, I want something made, I come to you, I explain exactly what I want, and you do it to perfection.
Yes, Tanya. And without tripping you, there are times that persons come in and they have an idea as to how they want to look. And so in listening, you know, I always give a listening ear, and so I would realize, okay, this dress is just not for you, and so it is rather helpful because right there the customer is getting a free consultation as to what to wear and what not to wear. So I will listen and I will take what you know what you gave to me. However, I will advise you on what is flattering, which will complement your body shape and structure.
In your interactions with Dominican women, would you say that we are fashion conscious?
Yes, we are. Some of us are a little more fashion conscious than others. However, I believe a lot of us are. Some may not be, some might not know where to start. Sometimes, you know, there are some things that you like leopard, you like prints, but you do not know how to piece them together. So some of us are kind of clueless, so in that regard, yeah. But I do believe that most of us are fashion forward. Just need a little push, a little hint.
Great, okay.
Yeah.
So I come into the store, I talk to you, I tell you what I want.
Yes.
I get my material, I take it to you. How quick will you deliver my outfit?
Okay. Tanya, I don't accept fabric, however, I provide everything. It's an all-inclusive.
You provide
I provide everything.
So you've got a fashion storage facility down there?
I have my own system of storing my fabric. Yeah, you come into the boutique, you tell me, okay, I would like to fit and flare dress, most probably emerald green with a little gold and so on. When I will most probably interview you to find out exactly where you're going and so on and so forth, and then I will tell you exactly what is needed to get started. I provide you with everything. You put a deposit of half the amount, and that's it. Within a week and a half, 2 weeks tops. You get a call. You get a call to do a fitting. We do fittings because it's all about fit. It's all about how it fits you. Yeah. So we try to emphasize the fact that it's important. No matter how beautiful the dress is, it has to fit you properly.
So have you gotten any formal training? Recutting, designing, sewing? Talk to me about that.
I have gotten the basic training, more or less. But because I was so passionate about this fashion design, I basically took it on my own and did a lot of practice. Yeah. So when I first started, I basically got all the tools and equipment necessary to get myself to the point where I am now. And of course, I also got assistance from a very close friend who basically was, you know, she was my mentor. You know, sometimes I'm doing something and I need to ask her, you know, how many inches away, you know, do I need to go and so on and so forth. And so she was very, 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 very helpful in that regard. Okay,
excellent. Where do you see yourself with your, you know, with your pursuits, with your business, with, you know, your ambitions?
Oh boy. In the next 5 years, I see myself as having my fashion line going. Hopefully I would have achieved the necessary training. Yeah, I heard that training that have some really good programs, and of course still on the fabric. Hello. So in the next 5 years, I'm hoping to see myself with, you know, a mini factory and my workers and everybody's on the ball and so on and so forth. Yeah.
How are you doing in terms of marketing?
My marketing scheme is somewhat interesting, you know, Tanya, because it's rather unconventional. Usually I don't do any media per se or any, you know, flyers and so on. I basically do marketing through my clients. And my clients are, I would have to boast a little bit there. They are really, really satisfied with my work. Basically, they are one of my biggest engines, yeah? They are very supportive and most times persons wear my clothing, they wear it with everything. What I try to do is I try to personalize every piece that I do. Yeah, and in so it basically radiates, and others see the beauty and the fit. You know, they see how the dresses and the blazers complement, you know, the customers, and so they just keep coming. Most times, you know, a mother tell a sister, co-worker tell, you know, or that person say, oh my God, I love that dress. Where did you get that done? Oh, I got it at Kimara's. Do you want her number? Of course, 315-7171. You call me up. Most times I meet persons, they just call me Sunday afternoons, holidays, or whatever. I get WhatsApp messages. I get telephone calls. They tell me, okay, they want to come in to see me and so on. And that's it.
Let's take a look now at some of the outstanding designs by Kimara Matthew.
Okay, this here is a teal dress. Yeah, it's basically a bodycon dress fitted. The top is, it has a little twist in that I basically overlay the torso of the top to give it that nice overlap, yeah, which gives the top of her bodice a nice hourglass definition. Okay, this is a skater dress, basically fit and flare. Yeah, it's really in right now. It's basically called a block dress, yeah, skater dress. We're using lilac and purple, just a little few finishings with the borderline, with the border, and you know, the buttons, and basically that's it. This is like one of my favorites. It's very, very simple. However, the floral pattern basically is what makes the dress, gives it that wow. Yeah. Basically, it's another bodycon dress made with cotton stretch fabric, and it has this nice definition, nice detail around the neckline, which really gives it that simple, classy look.
Very creative designs there by Kimara Matthew. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Kimara.
Thank you for having me, Tanya. It was a pleasure.
Parting words?
I just want to say a big thank you to all of my clients and all of the support that you have given me over the years. And I also want to appeal to the potential clients out there. Those of you who want to contact me for consultation, for all your fashion needs, you can call 315-7171 or you could just WhatsApp me on that number. Thank you so much.
Well, I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Great success, okay? All right then. You're watching the Tarnia Green Show, Dominica's only television show of its kind. Be sure to check us on the Tarnia Green Show Facebook page and encourage your friends to share. When we come back, we interact with another budding entrepreneur in Dominica, Jody Shillingford-True. Find out what her passion is. That's coming up next when the Tarnia Green Show returns.
Be part of the excitement. Tune in to the Tarnia Green Show every other Monday on Digital Play TV, Channel 3.
Unlock the secrets of the Nature Isle with the hotel at the heart of Dominica. Whether relaxing or over on business, the Fort Young is perfectly placed for all your needs, providing comfort and elegance in every room. Our Palisades restaurant features Caribbean classics reinvented with fresh produce from our hills and our seas that connects with a view to dine for. The Fort Young is the best place to meet on island, providing the widest selection of meeting options. The island is filled with natural bounties and adventurers have been drawn to Dominica for centuries. Fort Young Hotel, the key to Dominica.
If you want to be a guest on the Tarnia Green Show, send an email to thetarniagreenshow@gmail.com.
Welcome back. On today's edition, we've been talking about youth entrepreneurship. There are so many young people here in Dominica doing exceptional things, and the show really doesn't allow me to feature them all at once. However, recently I paid a visit to the workshop of Jody Shillingford-True, a cake designer who opened up her space to me to share her talent. Joining me now on the Tarnia Green Show is Jody Shillingford True, an exceptional cake designer. And we're going to be talking to her today about cake decorating, what's involved in cake decorating, and all the wonderful things that she's been exposed to in this lovely career. Jody, thank you so much for joining me on the show. It's a pleasure to have you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, so you're into cake designing. You live out here in Salisbury, and you've been practicing the art of cake decorating for a while.
Yes, it's been about 4 years. I think I just started in 2010, thereabout.
Yes.
So I think I started initially doing cakes for like friends and family, and then I got my first order. That was in 2010, and then things just snowballed from there.
Has this been something that you've always been fascinated about, cake decorating?
I've always been interested in art and creating things that were pretty. So I had been interested in clothing and textile for a little while. I was interested in drawing for a little while, and then I sort of just caught on to the cake decorating eventually, and that's how we started.
So what about cake decorating really interests you? What exciting about cake decorating?
The most exciting part for me is creating something that is beautiful. For me, that is what excites me. When I get an order that's different, when I get an order that allows me to be creative, that excites me the most.
Okay, so you're into cake decorating. You have your customers calling and placing orders. You do birthday cakes, cakes for christening, cakes for weddings, I imagine.
We do all sorts of occasions. So we do birthdays, christenings, baby showers, bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. We do weddings. I can't think of an occasion yet that we haven't catered to. We do all sorts.
Okay. Now, you're not only involved in the cake decorating aspect of it. You bake the cakes as well.
We do everything. We bake the cakes. We make the fondant that we use. We make the buttercream from scratch. I do everything. I sweep, I clean. I wish I didn't have to.
Yes.
But we do. I do have a part-time assistant. She comes in usually from Thursday in through the weekend to help me. That's the time that we're most busy. So I really appreciate her help during that period of time.
Okay, so how labor intensive is that?
Very. To put it, I mean, shortly, it's very labor intensive. We work throughout the course of the night most days. Because of my change in lifestyle, I just gave birth. So I work primarily at night.
Okay.
Usually we bake, that takes a couple hours, but the part that's most labor intensive is decorating the cake. That takes several hours usually.
Okay, all right. Now in Dominica, is there a market for such a service?
There is a market, and we've seen recently, I was on leave for a little while. We've seen recently that there have been quite a few new cake decorators around. So it's obvious that there is a market for these types of cakes. There are cake decorators who've been at it way before I have. People like Darwin Thomas, who works at the IGA. He's been doing that for, 10 years, I believe?
Yes.
And I only just started, and I'm usually very, very busy, and people have to call very long in advance in order to book an order with us. So there's obviously a market, and we're seeing that people are very excited about the new possibilities. So stepping out of the box from the regular character cake is something that everybody enjoys doing. And we enjoy seeing people breaking out of the box as far as what designs they're willing to ask for.
So I've been told that, your imagination spans through everything under the sun. If I want a cake designed in a house, a cake design on a shoe, a cake design in a flower, Jody has the art. She knows how to do that.
We've done all sorts of designs, to be honest, and that's what makes us happy. Doing things that are different, doing things where we get to explore different methods, different procedures, and using different tools. Those are the things that excites us. So we're very, very happy to take on everybody's outlandish orders.
What about the resources, the tools required to do these magical works? Do you have the facilities here?
That is one of the major challenges that we face. We have to order most of the tools that we use from overseas. We can get simple things here. We can get cake boards, cake boxes sometimes, although we've run into a few problems where certain sizes are not available, but the majority of the tools that we use, we order in, and the materials that we use also sometimes we have to order in. But I must must say a big thank you to people. It's not it's not a plug-in, but I'm really thankful for the people at Save a Lot and the people at IGA, because I always have a ready supply of the icing sugar that we use, the marshmallows that we use to make our fondant. I've never run into problems recently with any of those. So those things we can get on island, but for the tools we usually have to order them in.
Okay. So I'm ready for us to get our hands dirty, right, and busy. All right. And we are going to decorate a cake today. What type of cake are we decorating today, Jody?
We're doing a chocolate cake topped with a red velvet cake. Usually we fill those because each tier is made out of 2 layers. We like to use a nice filling in between. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a cherry filling and a hazelnut filling for the chocolate and the red velvet cake. Okay. So the client already sent it in her design. So what we're going to do is just try to execute it nicely for her so that she'll be happy.
Wonderful. So we've gone one step ahead and we've prepared the cakes.
Yes.
So as we see here, we have our chocolate cakes.
Yes.
And our cherry.
Or red velvet.
Cake here, and we are ready to start.
All right then.
So what's the first thing we do?
Usually we've already prepped our cake boards. So we're going to take some buttercream now. We're going to try to put it on there, level out the cakes and sandwich them together. So we add some pressure to ensure that the 2 layers have adhered to each other, so we don't have any slippage during the course of the activity, decorating it.
Yes.
The next step is ensuring that the outsides of the cake is level. All right, so you will notice, Tanya, that there's a space in between the top layer and the bottom layer.
Yes, yes.
If I were in another country, we would use something called ganache, and that would fill up the hole, and there would not be any problem.
Yes.
But because we're here, what we like to do is take the excess cake and fill it in.
Okay.
And it also helps the filling to stay in there.
Yes.
All right, so we almost have the cake to where we want it to be.
Okay.
The next step would be to crumb coat the cake. What that is a very thin layer of buttercream that helps the crumbs from the cake to stick to the cake, so that when you put another layer of buttercream, there are no crumbs on it.
Okay.
In our case, we like using fondant.
Yes.
So all we use really is the crumb coat. So I'm going to first make a paste of cake and buttercream to seal this in, and then we're going to cover the entire thing in buttercream.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And hopefully we have very few bulges.
Yes. Yeah.
When we come to put the fondant on there.
Yes. Now you keep saying fondant, but you know, traditionally, for example, when I was introduced to cake decorating, we did the traditional butter icing.
Yes.
You know, but now I hear you talk a lot about fondant. What is fondant, and why have we moved away from the traditional butter icing to fondant? Fondant is, simply put, a paste made out of sugar. It's a dough that you make out of sugar. You make out of sugar, powdered sugar. Yes. There are varieties of different types of fondant. There's a ready-made fondant that you can buy. Yes. There's marshmallow fondant that I choose to make for myself. It's simply because it's fairly easy to make. It's fairly cheap to make, and I can make it on demand, so I don't need to order in a batch and wait for it to come through before I can start working. So for that reason, we find it very, very convenient. Right. I first learned how to make fondant through a friend of mine, well, the wife of a Ross student. Yes. She taught me, we met at a restaurant, and she taught me how to make the fondant by inviting me to her house. I was a complete stranger. Yes. And she invited me to her house. Yes. She taught me how to make the fondant and how to use it. Yes. Since then, she's gone back to the States. And sadly, we learned that she had cancer, and she passed away last year. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, it was sad for us. We think of her often, because even some of the first tools that I had when she was leaving the island, she left them with me. Oh, that's sweet. We always try to remember her in our prayers, and her family. Yes. What was her name? Her name is Anna. Anna. And then her husband Brian, and her family, the rest of her family. She has 2 kids. All right. So she taught me fondant. We like using it because it's versatile. Yes. And it works. It's very easy to use in the heat. Sometimes we find that buttercream is easy to use, but it's not quite as versatile as we have found fondant to be. So we really, really like using fondant, and we've been using it from the start. So we've grown
we've become
the fondant specialist.
in a manner of speaking.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
You said it, not me.
Now, talk to me about the taste when you compare fondant to the traditional
buttercream.
Buttercream.
Fondant. Some people, buttercream tastes good. Everybody knows that. We find that marshmallow fondant tastes better than the other type of fondant because of what is in it. Marshmallows has a light, fluffy texture.
Yes.
We can also flavor the fondant with almond essence if we choose.
Yes.
But we really like the flavor of the fondant that we make.
Okay.
The texture is sometimes some people don't like, but because there's also a layer of buttercream underneath the fondant, we just take it off.
Okay, all right.
My husband is probably the only one I've seen actually take fondant and chew it.
Oh yeah,
but there are people
a lover of fondant.
He's a lover of all things sweet.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
He married well.
Okay, Jody.
Right.
All right. So we're continuing with our cake making exercise, cake decorating exercise.
Yes.
And now, Jody, you're applying another layer of
buttercream. So this is the true crumb coat. So what you will see is you'll see the little specks of crumbs in there, and that's why we call it the crumb coat. It seals the crumbs onto the cake.
Okay.
You typically worked with buttercream, right, when you decorated?
No.
You used
just butter icing.
Okay, yeah, buttercream. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
And then there are other people who use royal icing, but that's an art.
That's what I wanted to say. Royal.
That's the one with the egg whites?
Yes.
That's the one that
the one that I was trained to use. Yes.
Actually, I would actually like to learn how to use that. I've had one request for that cake 4 years ago.
Yes.
I've never had another request for a royal icing cake.
Because all of a sudden it's gone out the window.
I don't know why.
It's gone out the window, and to be quite honest, I quite liked it.
You like the royal icing?
Yes.
It's the traditional icing that we used for wedding cakes back in the days, on our fruit cakes and so.
Yes.
We don't get very many requests for it.
That's because people think that people don't make them no more,
possibly,
or use it no more.
Possibly, I'd like to learn.
All of these commercial cakes you find now are using the buttercream.
Yes. Or the fondant.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen a royal icing cake in years. And at this point, we would say that the cake is pretty much ready to be covered in fondant.
Okay.
So usually we stop and we do some cleaning up to remove all the crumbs on the cake board and the cake table, so that we can have some space to knead our fondant.
All right, so when we come back, we're gonna continue with our project here with Jody. We're taking a break now to do some cleaning up on the table there. We'll be right back.
Unlock the secrets of the Nature Isle with the hotel at the heart of Dominica. Whether relaxing or over on business, the Fort Young is perfectly placed for all your needs, providing comfort and elegance in every room. Our Palisades restaurant features Caribbean classics reinvented with fresh produce from our hills and our seas that connects with a view to dine for. The Fort Young is the best place to meet on island, providing the widest selection of meeting options. The island is filled with natural bounties, and adventurers have been drawn to Dominica for centuries. Fort Young Hotel, the key to Dominica.
Welcome back. You're watching the Tarnia Green Show, and with me is Jody Shillingford True, the cake boss in Dominica, right? So we're icing this cake, and before the commercial break, we were talking about the preparation of the fondant. Yes. So as you see here, the fondant has been laid out and prepared, and we are getting set to lay the fondant on the cake.
We ensure that this side is completely covered by fondant, and we just drip it over the side like this.
Wow, beautifully. Yes, looks lovely.
All right. So at this point, we need to remove the air bubbles from the top.
Yes.
And these are called fondant smoothers.
Okay.
We like using 2 of them. So we smooth over the top of the cake.
Yes, yes.
All right, at this point, you see that you have excess fondant at the bottom.
Yeah, and it looks like a hat.
It does. All right, so you take your smoother, you ensure that it's clean, and you just smooth it out.
Okay.
You move it up and down, across, whatever you need to do to get all
the air bubbles
out.
Yes.
And then we prepare for the next stage of decorating.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. So this cake is meant to be covered in black stripes.
Black stripes.
So what we'll need to do is we'll knead out the black fondant, roll it out, and cut it into strips.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So what we usually do is they're going to meet here at the top. So we usually start here and here, divide the cake in half. Then we do quarters. Then if there's more, we do leaves.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we're going to do that. All right, so we're just going to put some ribbon at the bottom and we're going to make some roses for the top.
Okay.
So we'll need to clean up a little bit for that.
Okay.
So that we can go ahead and do that.
Okay. We take a break now. You're watching the Tarnia Green Show with Jody Shillingford. True. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Unlock the secrets of the Nature Isle with the hotel at the heart of Dominica. Whether relaxing or over on business, the Fort Young is perfectly placed for all your needs, providing comfort and elegance in every room. Our Palisades restaurant features Caribbean classics reinvented with fresh produce from our hills and our seas that connects with a view to dine for. The Fort Young is the best place to meet on island, providing the widest selection of meeting options. The island is filled with natural bounties and adventurers have been drawn to Dominica for centuries. Fort Young Hotel, the key to Dominica.
If you have any suggestions for us on the Tarnia Green Show, send us an email to the tarniagreenshow@gmail.com or call 617-8811.
Welcome back. You're watching the Tarnia Green Show, and with me is Jody Shillingford. True. And we're putting together this beautiful cake here for you. And we're moving on to a very exciting part of the cake decorating exercise here this afternoon. We're going to be putting on the roses. And we've got this red fondant right there, and we're ready to roll.
Right, so this is our red fondant. We colored it before, and we've already added the tylose. You know, tylose is a powder that we add to the fondant, and it allows the fondant to stiffen up and hold its shape. So we add it to anything that we're making that we want to last long.
Okay.
So we've already added that in. Then we're going to make a simple rose without any cutters. So anybody who doesn't have the equipment to go ahead and make a rose can probably use this as a small tutorial to go ahead and make their own rose.
Okay.
All right, so we start by taking a small bit, about this size.
Yes.
And we roll it into a ball and we thin out the edge. So what we're looking for is a teardrop shape like this. All right?
Yes.
Then usually what happens is we're going to make a rose, you need to form a little center. So you take off a little bit between your fingers like that, about this size, and you use a little bit of shortening on your hand so your fingers don't stick to the ball of fondant. And you're just going to thin it out with your finger like that until you form a large circle of thin fondant, just like that. Okay, so when you have this, you use some edible glue and you cover the entire bud. Okay. Then you take your bud and you put it in the center here, and you just close the circle around the bud like this, and you're going to form a small center like that. You wrap the rest of it at the bottom, so that's your center.
Okay, so why was it important to put this additional covering on the bud?
Because then you have, what you're looking for is that little seam.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you go ahead.
So it's not a situation where you could have used the original bud and just use a knife and make an incision.
You could. You
look
could
like this.
You could, but this looks more authentic.
Great, voila, authenticity.
All right, so you're going to go ahead this time and you're going to form a row of petals that's about 2. So this is 1.
Yes.
So you're going to make 2 new ones.
Okay.
So you go ahead, you go through the same process. You pull out a ball of fondant, and you just thin it out with your finger like that.
Okay.
All right. Some people use cutters. I have cutters that I use as well, but in this particular instance, I wanted to use my hand.
Okay.
Okay, so you do that. You close one corner.
Yes.
And you leave the other open.
Nice.
You go ahead and you make another petal. Same procedure, it's just a different configuration. So you use a little shortening so that your finger doesn't get stuck. And you put it halfway in between this petal where this meets. You put it halfway in between there, and you fold it over like that. So this edge is open, that edge is open, and you bring it over like this. So now you have the beginnings of what will look like a rose.
Oh,
okay.
Looks very good.
The next row will be made out of three petals.
You know, your hands are just magical. Do you know that? You know, look at the work. Look at the fingers, the movement of the fingers. So skilled.
Thank you.
Yes?
Thank you.
Firm hands.
So we go ahead and we make 2 more. We place this one in the middle of the previous petal.
Yes.
And we open up this edge. And then we make 1 more. And we flatten out the ball with our fingers again. And we place this one here. We place this edge underneath the open edge of this petal.
Yes. Beautiful.
And now we have a small rose.
Yes, lovely.
Okay.
Kiss from a rose.
On the something.
Yes, by seal.
Oh, the more I get of you, this.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's all. All right, so then we have a small rose. Now we can go ahead and add more petals. If we went ahead and added more petals, the next row of petals would be made up of 5 petals.
Yes.
And if we continue, the next one would be made out of 7.
Okay.
So we use 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. So this rose we would put in the center here, and we're surrounded by more roses.
Okay, great.
All right.
So we're gonna continue to make some more roses so we can fill the top layer of the cake.
All right.
For the past few minutes, we've been putting the red roses on this beautiful cake, ably assisted by Jody. And this is the finished product,
Yes.
yeah? So yes, Jody, it was a very interesting and exciting opportunity for us to do this together on the Tarnia Green Show.
You're welcome.
Yes, and I hope it was a learning experience for all of our viewers. And I hope it triggers some interest by other young people to want to learn a skill such as cake decorating. All right. So now that we have our fully decorated cake, we're ready to box the cake.
Yes.
And
So what we normally do is we clean the board, we clean everything off,
Yes.
like you did before.
Yes.
We box it, we refrigerate it depending on the filling that's in there. So for example, in this particular instance, there's a cherry filling. That can go bad in very warm temperatures. So we refrigerate and we wait for the client to either collect or we will deliver on request.
okay. All right. So Jody Shillingford, true, giving us a true skill, true demonstration of her skill in cake decorating. We want to thank you so much, Jody, for joining me on the Tarnia Green Show, and I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I'm sure you will agree with me that this was an exciting show. And that's all the time we have for the Tarnia Green Show today. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to join us next time for another exciting show. Remember to like the Tarnia Green Show Facebook page and share with your friends. Send in your suggestions to thetarniagreenshow@gmail.com. Until next time, I am Tarnia Green. Thanks for watching.